Today we're making Swedish meatballs. You have no idea how good they taste.
This meatball recipe is Swedish in style. Okay, we're going to make it with a mixture of beef mince and pork mince, combined with onion, eggs, nutmeg as a spice, and a few breadcrumbs. So it's a really light, fluffy meatball. And then we cook it out in a beef stock and cream sauce. So to get it started, we've got our beef mince and pork mince. If you can just mix those two up, it's about an equal quantity of each. And to that, I'm also going to add, or you can add, 1 egg and a handful of breadcrumbs. Okay, and the breadcrumbs make it a really sort of light, fluffy, packs them out, so it's not quite so expensive. Right. Okay, because obviously bread's a lot cheaper, especially the stale breadcrumbs we're using, a lot cheaper than the meat.
So these kind of flat pack DIY meatballs?
You could say that, the kind of, exactly that. I think I know where you're going with that particular reference. But I mean, Swedish meatballs tend to be smaller.
Yeah.
Tend to be much smaller, whereas in other nations, every nation has their own version of a meatball. In Sweden, they tend to be sort of about that big.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've got very icky hands now.
Good, icky's good. Yeah. Should be a combination of the egg and bread, should mean it's quite manageable. Our onions can go in there, and if you can give those a good mix up, along with a spice. Now this is dried nutmeg. Okay, so just grated ground nutmeg. Pinch of that, it's quite strong stuff, so not more than a pinch. Some salt and pepper. So I'm just chopping up a few potatoes. These meatballs are great, they've got their own sauce and great served with boiled potatoes. So they're just going to go into cold, salted water. We'll bring that up to boil.
Is that a good size?
Yes, but much more compact than that if you can. So they should all be equal in size. And if you can't cut up your onion really, really small, then you can put it in like a food processor or a blitzer or a blender. Okay, so you've got almost an onion puree. So there we go. So it's quite satisfying feeling, isn't it?
Wow. Apparently, this smoothens them out, gets them smaller. Plus, it's really fun.
So, we're going to place our meatballs into the oil. It's quite hot, we want to colour them off quite quickly and not necessarily cook them all the way through. Having washed our hands, we can already start to move some of these around. Just want a light golden colour.
Lovely.
Now the other thing that's typical with Swedish meatballs is what they serve it with. It's called Lingonberry, and it's a berry you get in Sweden. We're going to use our own version, which is kind of cranberries, as close as we can probably get, pre-made cranberry sauce. But that kind of sweet jelly jam, red berries, fantastic with these meatballs. Now they needed a couple more minutes browning off. In the meantime, we can make some stock. So just a beef stock cube, and if you can just whisk that up with a fork or something to dissolve that. What we will eventually need is about equal quantity of beef stock and double cream, okay? And that's going to go into our pan. We put a glug of oil in the pan at the start. You need to get that colour, but now we want to get rid of any excess. We don't need too much of that, so just tip it away into a bowl, and then we make the sauce.
The sauce done?
Well, pretty much. Put that in there.
Yeah.
Nice hot pan. It will deglaze all of those fantastic flavours off the bottom. An equal quantity of cream. Plenty of black pepper. And that is the meatball sauce. So we need to leave that to bubble away. The meatballs will cook right through to the middle. Yep. The sauce will thicken up. Our potatoes will boil. The whole thing will take about 15 minutes, and then we can plate up our Swedish meatballs.
Easy.
15 minutes and our potatoes are there, as are our meatballs. You can see how syrupy that sauce is now. So if you can just drain off our potatoes, and the finishing touch to the sauce is some fresh dill, okay? So it's like aniseedy flavour. I'm just going to chop a little bit of that up. A little sprinkle of our dill into that sauce, and then we can start to plate them up. So some new potatoes, just simply steamed, and then our meatballs. Now, as I say, they're quite small.
The more the merrier.
So you want a good sort of 6 or so proportion. Dribble of our sauce, which is really rich. You don't need too much. It's very, very rich. But then what you do have is that sweet cranberry sauce to cut through it. And there we go, a bit more dill to finish. And then we have our version of our flat pack DIY Swedish meatballs. Sorted. Now what do we think?
Wow. I didn't expect that. That's too simple to taste that good.
It is, isn't it? Just 2 ingredients in that sauce.
Wow.
That's all the juices from the meatball.
Bit of cranberry, or what do they call it? Lingonberry. Or their version of it.
And you can enjoy it without all the torture walking around that store.
Really? And if you guys want to make this at home, then go to the website where there's step-by-step instructions on how to construct this yourself.
I see what you did there.
Okay?